putting more protection for Singapore businesses operating in Kenya in place, and 3 new deals in the areas of climate change, technology and skills development. These were announced at a joint media conference by Singapore's Prime Minister Loong and Kenyan President William Ruto during Mr. Lee's visit to the African nation. Geraldine Yap with more from Nairobi.
It's a confidence boost for Singapore companies looking to venture into Kenya as the two countries move to immediately operationalize a bilateral investment treaty signed in 2018. It establishes rules on how Kenya should treat investments from Singapore and vice versa. Among the protections, Singapore companies will have freedom to transfer capital and returns in and out of Kenya. They'll also be able to access international arbitration for investment disputes. The two leaders have also asked their respective ministers to conclude negotiations on the avoidance of double taxation within the shortest time possible.
These moves send a strong positive signal to businesses and provide clarity and assurance on the cross-border transactions and investment.
Singapore and Kenya also signed 3 new agreements to expand collaboration in climate change, technology and skills development. The climate change deal will promote collaboration on carbon credit projects and cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
25% of all carbon trading going on in Africa today happens in Kenya. So we are already a leader in the space of carbon trading. And the partnership that we're going to build with Singapore is not only going to speak to scaling up our carbon trading.
Mr. Ruto also says Kenya can learn from Singapore's public housing model to tackle his country's housing problem. The two leaders also affirmed their shared commitment to multilateralism and a rules-based global order.
In the global scheme of things, we are all quite small countries, and small countries need to make common cause with one another on issues which concern us all, whether it's the pandemic, whether it's climate change, whether it's nuclear non-proliferation, or the sanctity of the UN Charter and the inviolability of international borders, which was what was at stake when Russia invaded Ukraine. And therefore it's important for me to visit Kenya and to be in Africa and to show that this is important to us and that we would like to develop our relations with our friends further.
Mr. Ruto has accepted an invitation from Mr. Lee to make a visit to Singapore early next year. Geraldine Yap, CNA, Nairobi.